Hello and welcome to Vegetology. Today we are going to be making a gorgeous, this could be a main or a side dish. So we're going to do a vegan whole roasted cauliflower. We're going to cover it in a sauce and bake it, and then we're going to make a really nice crumb to scatter over the top when it's ready to serve. So I've got a whole cauliflower here. All I'm going to do first is just take off the excess leaves. I am going to leave the very base on because it just helps it not to want to roll around in the oven. So just take off your leaves and put on your tray so it sits nice and flat. Okay, so for the sauce, I have got 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. I'm using the Flora plant-based butter. I think I really like this one. So this is the one we're going to use today. I've also got here some paprika. I'm going to put a tablespoon of paprika into my melted butter. I just melted the vegan butter in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Okay, tablespoon of paprika. I'm going to go with a teaspoon of soy. In it goes. A teaspoon of tomato puree. Ooh, in that one goes. And then we're also going to add some herbs in here. So I've got thyme and rosemary. I've got a couple of sprigs of each. I'm just going to take off the thyme leaves and do the same to the rosemary. The thyme doesn't need chopping up because it's already so small, but the rosemary does need a little chop. Ooh. Okay. So it works out as about a teaspoon once you've taken the leaves off the thyme stalks. I'll keep that one separate, and then it's the same for the rosemary. Just strip the rosemary sprigs. Just use these 2. And then I like to chop up the rosemary with one of these herb cutters just because I find it easier. So this dish, like I said, you can use it as a centerpiece, but can also be used as a side dish. It works really, really well with the butternut squash Wellington that we've made as well. It works great as a side to that. So I'm just going to add in my herbs, pop them all in. So we've got butter, paprika, soy, tomato puree and herbs. Give it a good mix. Now, you can either do it the messy way, which is just pour it all over the top and you'll probably lose half of it, or you can almost like paint it on. So you could do it with a teaspoon and try and get it to catch in. Or I use one of these little silicone, this one is actually a small person in a dress, but you can buy these in most supermarkets. It just, instead of using a pastry brush where the bits come off it, this one, all the little bits stay on. And I'm just going to paint it all over the cauliflower. So like I say, you can do it with a spoon or you can do it with a little pastry brush like this. Ooh, it is a bit splashy. There it is, all covered. So we're going to pop this in the oven now. My oven is preheated to 170 degrees and this is going to go in for about 45 to 50 minutes. You want to make sure that it's cooked through and that it's got a nice roasted look on top. Okay, so we've got our cauliflower roasting in the oven. That's going to be delicious in about 45 minutes, and now we're going to make a crumb to scatter on top. So for our crumb, we're actually going to fry it to make it nice and toasted. What we're going to do is we're going to add about a tablespoon of plant-based butter. So that's about 15 grams. Okay, I'm just going to pop that straight in. I'm not going to bother to melt that down before I add the rest of the ingredients because this will melt really quickly, so we don't really need to. Okay, I've got about a tablespoon of chives, will be once it's chopped, about a tablespoon of rosemary. There we go. And then we've got a little bit of thyme as well. Okay, So get all your herbs there, and you can just chop them all up. We're also going to be adding to this some breadcrumbs. So you can add your own, if you dry your own bread out and make your own breadcrumbs. I've brought some pre-made breadcrumbs, which are here, golden breadcrumbs. And they're really nice and fine, okay? So I've got all my herbs. Just pop it all into your frying pan. So rosemary, thyme and chives, about a tablespoon of vegan butter, and then you want to add about 100 grams of your breadcrumbs, okay? So you can see they're really, really fine. And I'm going to add 100 grams is just shy of what's left in this packet, okay? So I'm going to pop all of this onto the hob, and we're just going to fry it off for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's toasted, a bit more golden, and then we'll pop that in a bowl ready for when our cauliflower comes out. Okay, so we've got our really delicious golden breadcrumb mix here. We're just going to let that cool a little bit, and then when the cauliflower comes out, we can pop it on top. So the cauliflower has just come out of the oven. It's been in for about 50 minutes. It looks and smells amazing. So all we've got left to do is to put our crumb on. So you can just scatter your crumb all over the top. I like to pack it on a little bit as well. This is going to taste amazing. Okay, so then I'm going to take a little slice off this. I might just need to use a fork so that I can secure it there. Oh, I've cut into like the head bit here. So I'm going to take a bit of this cauliflower. So I've got the sauce that we put on it before along with the crumb. And you can literally slice it all up and serve it like this. It's coming apart, but that's fine. Just pop it on their plate so you've got that delicious sauce and crumb on there. And then if you want to, at the table, you can take over your extra crumb and just give them a little bit on top. So that is our whole roasted cauliflower with sauce and a crumb on top. I really hope you try it. It's absolutely delicious. You can use this for a side dish or you could use it as a centerpiece. I would do it with the butternut squash Wellington and probably the dauphinoise potatoes as well. Enjoy!